Good morning, my dear students. Today's topic is branding. What is branding? Business, marketing, guarantee, quality, consumers, trademarks. All these combinations are called brand. Once again, business, marketing, quality, consumers, trademark. All this combination is called brand. Branding and brand decision. Philip Kotler or Gray Armstrong. A brand is defined as the name, term, sign, symbol, or a combination of these that identifies the marker or seller of the product. A brand name helps an organization differentiates itself from its competitors. In today's competitive world, customers expect products to have branding. Customers often build up a relationship with a brand that they trust and will regularly purchase products from that brand. Some people will only purchase a particular brand even though there are acceptable alternatives on the market. Here, some people are will purchase only particular brands even though there are acceptable alternatives in the market. That is called brand loyalty. Some customers will build up relation with a brand that trust and will regularly purchase products from that the brand. For example, Apple Inc. or UK retail chain John Lewis partnership have a loyal customer base who provide with repeat businesses. Coming to the brand equity. Brand equity means brand quality, brand awareness, brand association, brand loyalty. Here, the actual meaning of brand equity is nothing but brand building. How much is a brand worth? Brand equity refers to the value of a brand. Brand equity does not develop instantaneously. It is a very long process and very struggle process. A brand needs to be carefully nurtured and marketed so consumers feel real value and trust towards that the brand. For example, Nike, Adidas, Harrows have high brand equity, that is called high brand value. These brands command high awareness and consumer loyalty in the market. But how much are these brands worth? It is difficult to put a value on brands. But we also know that a pair of Nike trainers without the logo on them is worth a fraction of prices of a pair of trainers containing Nike logos and branding. Here, franchise business pay to use branding belonging to someone else. For example, McDonald's, Subway, and Nando's. Sometimes business will buy the names of businesses that have gone into administration. For example, in 2009, Shop Direct Group purchased the right to use of Woolworths, the name of High Street retail chain that had gone into administration in UK. Brand strategies. Brand strategy is nothing but branding plan. When a company manages its brand, it has a number of strategies it can use to further increase its brand value. These are brand strategies, line extension, multi-branding, new brands. Coming to the line extension, this is where an organization adds to its current product line. Brand introducing versions F it products with new features. An example could be a crispy or chips manufactures ending its line by adding more exotic flavors. And coming to the brand extension, if your current brand name is successful, You may use the brand name to extend into new business areas. For example, Virgin Group extending its brand from records, airlines, mobiles, and banking. And multi-branding. The company decides to introduce more brands into an existing category. Kellogg's, for example, have a number of brands in cereal market. The cereal bar market multi-branding can allow an organization to maximize the profits, but a company needs to be very over their own brands, competing with each other over market share and new brands. An organization may decide to launch a new brand into a market. A new brand may be used to compete with existing rivals and may be marketed as something new and fresh in the present market. Branding strategies: line extension, brand extension, multi-branding, new brands. These are called branding strategies in the marketing. Branding decision. Branding decision, simply put, are decisions that one make about a certain brand. You are building or promoting your product or your service or your business. Yes, this sounds like a very general definition, but this is mostly because brand decision definitely cover a lot of ground. Let's take a look at four major branding decisions. Brand positioning. Brand positioning concerns how you want customers to perceive the brand as compared to its competitors. Your brand can be positioned based on these three things. Attribute. This can be considered as the lowest level in the terms of brand positioning. Here, brand positioning is nothing but brand advertising. It mainly concerns the physical attributes of the brand, such as colors used, the overall design, anything similar. If you are marketing a car, for example, this would mostly involve whether you are selling as SUV or a sedan and the colors that it would be able in. Evidently, this is not exactly something that would set the brand apart from its competitors. Considerably, because it is always easy to change, mimic physical attributes. Here, in market, it is very important to change the physical attributes of a product. This is why this has to work hand in hand with other factors that determining positioning. And coming to the benefits, the set of benefits that the target market would enjoy would also be part of brand positioning. Going with our previous example, this would cover the car safety features, speed, capabilities, and other similar specializations. Values and beliefs, because benefits and attributes can be shared between competitors. The challenge really is to create deep emotional connection between the brand and the market. This is where a brand set of values and beliefs would come in. A great example of this is Coca-Cola. There is annual Christmas campaigns have become a cultural phenomenon which endeavors them to families all over the world. This shows that they have value tradition, which makes the brand an even greater hit during the holidays. Brand name selection. This is a particular tricky process, but coming up with the right decision would make or break your success. The name of brand has to be distinctive, catchy, and easy to remember. In the past years, you have seen brands that focus on catching attention. Yahoo and Google are perfect examples for branding. However, these trends have changed dramatically. Today, a lot of brands choose to pick names that carry real definitions. Quora, for example, is the plural of quorum, which pertains to the minimum number of people required before a group make a decision or conduct business. Also, one of its founders, Charles Chever, mentioned that the verb is also cool in the sense that it starts with a Q and ends with a, which pretty much sum up what people do on the website. Brand sponsorship. When it comes to brand sponsorship, you would have to think about choosing among four options. Would you like it to be a manufacturer's brand, a private brand, a licensed brand, or a co-brand? What is the difference between all these brands? Let us know. Manufacturer's brand. Going for a manufacturer's brand would mean marketing your own output. For example, Sony would still be selling the products they manufacture as Sony TVs or Sony cameras. Now, if they start manufacturing products to be sold to reseller who will not be using the Sony brand, then these resellers would be using a private brand. Coming to the private brands have become bigger in recent years because consumers have also become less brands conscious and more practical. Evidently, products that carry a popular brand name would be more expensive compared to private brands. Licensed brand. Licensed brands are companies that use a certain name or symbol that is not necessarily created by a single manufacturer. Hello Kitty, Disney, and Star Wars are perfect example of licensed brands. You have hundreds of manufacturers creating products that use these brands. Coming to the co-brand. Co-branding would mean putting two brands together for a single product. A great example here would be Nestle's coffee machines. Obviously, it was not Nestle who manufactured Nespresso. Instead, they had other brands like Siemens and DeLonghi working on these machines. Brand development. Brand development covers four different sectors. Line extension. If the product is just an addition to a current offering, this can be considered as a line extension. This means that you don't have to think of separate brand name for new product. A great example is Cherry Coke. Although this could be a particular option, its use is also highly discouraged. If you already have quite a lot of products under a single brand, aside from the fact it could be confusing, there is also a risk of original branding losing its real meaning. Brand extension. When you say brand extension, it means coming up with an entirely new product line, but still under the same brand. Kellogg's did this with their Special K line with an entire set of cereals, biscuits, and other similar products under it. The advantage here is that your group the products accordingly, taking away the potential confusion that a simple line extension presents. However, if the new product line receives bad publicity or does not work out, there is also a risk of original brand being dragged down. Multi-brand. Huge companies apply the multi-brand approach, which means that they have separate product lines and market several brands under each category. In the USA alone, for example, Procter & Gamble sell 5 different shampoo brands This allows them to have a separate brand offering to differentiate market segments. That is called multi-branding. New brand. Evidently, any new brand would be fall under this segment. However, older manufacturers and business could also use this approach if their new products does not fit into the existing brands they already have. This can also be used when the existing brands do not have the same power or appeal that is used to have or its own. We're hoping they would have. This is the new brand. Thanking you, my dear students. Please subscribe my YouTube channel.